We're still on this in the presidential campaign of 2020. Question number 2, any particular Biden-Harris benefits for the Black community? Do you see any and why, Anthony?
The only benefit that it would be for the Joe and the Biden and Kamala victory for president would be the fact that we have a black woman as vice president. That's it thus far. Because you got to show me what you're going to do. They ain't did that yet. Trump done been in office. He done showed me. That man has also lowered the cost of prescription drugs. He is fighting Big Pharma right now. What don't people get? And it's not like take what you're going to get, but see the change and how it's affecting you. I'm going to pass that question to him because I don't get it.
Any particular Biden-Harris benefits for the Black community?
Campaign promises are made and campaign promises are broken. So there's no way for any of us to really quantify what Biden and Kamala will actually do once they get in there. It will be good to have a person, a female of African descent in the White House. I think from an image standpoint, that's a powerful image.
Like Barack Obama.
I think women need to see that. I think men need to see that of all colors. You know what I mean? I also think another advantage to having the Biden-Kamala ticket is what we don't necessarily have communicatively on the other end. And I believe the inevitable will happen. The country will come into crisis. And even if it's a bunch of bullshit, if a president could get on that damn TV and at least address the shit with some sort of clarity, I'll start there. It's not enough. I'm not accepting.
Well, but sometimes that's why they have.
I just don't believe
that's why they
can't communicate.
That's why they be having briefings daily. When they'll have somebody to talk about it.
Tell them what's going on, right? But if you don't know what's going on, we're gonna get you together.
And that's why I'm so critical of their communication, is because I know these guys are surrounded by the smartest people in the world. They have speech writers. They have all of these people studying analytics and all that. You mean to tell me with all of the resources in the world, those reality TV can only play back what you've actually said. So reality TV is a lot of garbage, but they can't manipulate what you don't give them. I just wish Mr. Trump, our president, was better at giving something that was a bit harder to manipulate. You know what I mean? Yes, I agree. Every news station, even the ones that say they love him, Fox is holding back stuff too. You know what I mean? If the man could have saved the Dolphins yesterday, we would never know that. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So,
but a good leader is supposed to find a way to tell us. Period.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Period, Pooh? No, I agree with you on that. So the next question is this, as we get ready to wrap this up. We have a couple more questions. If Trump and Pence were to win this election and got into the Oval Office, what are 3 benefits that you expect to see for the nation overall from Trump and Pence, Sir Anthony?
I expect to see them to lock up and arrest. Did you know Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba is being built for high-ranking Americans?
I heard that. I heard that.
So I would like to see justice be served globally and see that's one of the benefits why Trump should stay in office, so we can see exactly who's been part of the satanic conspiracy theories, but why are they doing that in Cuba? So that's one of those things that I would like to see happen under Trump's watch. Yeah. And I would like to see how Trump is going to turn this thing around with the money. Like, is he going to help us really get our reparations? You know, he talked about it. You know, and I want to see how much Trump he really has brought down the unemployment rate in history for African Americans. I want to see what more will he do for us, because something's going to happen where he has to change the narrative of that with us. I believe that.
Right, especially where we're going in today's time with the pandemic and everything that's been happening. Right. I definitely agree with you on that. Awesome. Okay, cool. You got any more things you want to squeeze anything else out? Are you on this Pence and Trump on overall for the nation? We good on you? Sir Anthony, should we pass it along?
Go ahead, pass it along.
Awesome. So over to you, sir, Graffiti. If Trump and Pence win this election and get into the office, three benefits you expect to see for the nation overall.
Number one, I think the biggest benefit for me is the restructuring of the Democratic Party. I believe if the Democrats fail to replace Donald Trump with all of the things the Democrats claim, if he truly is this reckless buffoon, then I think they lose credibility because they failed to provide you with a better alternative. You follow what I'm saying? You really can't complain about anything if you can't provide a better alternative. You can tell people, hey, that water's poison, or you can give them better water. You see what I'm saying? There's always a better choice. So I think the biggest positive is I think both political parties, because I think the Republicans have something to look at too, because if they can't find a way to communicate all the good that their leader is doing, then him getting reelected, I think they have to look at each other. They have to look at each other and reevaluate and restructure too. I think both political parties need to be torn down. I think Trump is the catalyst for the tearing down of both parties. That's my opinion.
And they better quit playing, because if he called martial law, he's not going nowhere.
Right. So at some point, I'm just like, can somebody translate this for us? I mean, don't get me wrong. It's good for us to research it all. Damn, I'm like, they gotta be somebody on this freaking planet that can tell us.
I nominate you.
You know something? I would take that, and
you rocking the blue. I stay neutral.
I would try to not get shot. I would try to not get shot in my first week. But I do look great in the suit, so let's see what would happen.
Listen, so being that we're on this Trump-Pence train, second to last question, we almost wrap it up. You don't have to take too long on this, but do you think there are any Trump-Pence benefits for the Black community? I know we talked about a lot about Black community, but do you think in specific, when it comes to Trump and Pence, there are going to be some benefits for the Black community? And why?
There already has been some small benefits. I mean, I expect it gets greater later. I definitely believe that unemployment went down up on his watch. More Black people were provided with jobs. We suffer from a bunch of different ailments. The drug costs went down. So I definitely expect to see some change. It won't have I don't believe it'll be significantly big, but we've experienced more during this presidency than we have in the past. So I'm definitely optimistic once again. I mean, I'll take something versus nothing. But I'm just not saying I'm just gun-ho. A lot of things about Trump I definitely am against. But at the end of the day, like I said, pick your poison. I'd rather deal with the devil that I know than the devil that I don't know.
And what about Camilla Jo for the Black community? What do you think what she could do for the Black community?
I mean, I don't know, because when Camilla was saying something about police reform, she basically was on Hot 97 and basically said, don't expect me really to do nothing different. Joe Biden just said when he was sitting down with Charlemagne and basically said the same thing. And then he turned around and said that Hispanic people are more diverse than Black people. Why would you even put us in that type of comparison? But I have to be fair. So I can't say they leave a bad taste in my mouth. I just know that everything that the Democrats represent is like I said, anybody who's in affiliation with Bill Gates and part of his proposal and his program with vaccine and vaccinating the world, when we already know hydrochloroquine is out here working for people, it actually works. I know people that have had it and healed them with the right dosage and the other medicines that go with it. So it's a bunch of BS, and I feel like the Democrats are really being funded by the elite and the 1%.
Got it.
So
awesome.
It's a no for me.
Got you. Okay, cool. And so I'm Graffiti. I'm going to answer the same question. Any particular Trump-Pence benefits for the Black community? And then same thing, Camilla as well. Anything on Camilla said?
From a policy standpoint, apparently there are some things that Donald Trump is doing that are not necessarily getting to light, that I haven't personally felt those things, but I have to be honest, and I don't know if I'm being influenced by the current narrative of today's media. So I have a particular bias because I'm a blogger, I'm a podcaster, and I have my finger on the pulse of the internet. And the morale for this country is very low right effing now. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as advantages, Anthony talked about dealing with the devil you know as opposed to what you don't know. If this man is really putting together solid policy at the cost of not communicating, I'm trying to swallow that. I really am, but because I'm such, as you can tell, I love communication. I love communicating. So it's
effective communication.
Right. So it is inexcusable for me personally. I could live with the devil I know as opposed to what I don't know. It would hurt my heart if Biden and Kamala got in there and we thought all of this positive change was going to happen, and particularly for Black folks. And not.
No, I'm telling you, we're going to get in there and they're going to let this track and trace stuff happen. And it's not based off fear. This is just what I know that they pushing for.
Right.
You know, like who wants people to come in their homes and separate them from their families? You know, who wants that? To not know where they're going or when they're going to come back. Like at this point, we won't have no rights or we be taken. Like right now, did you know that the president has no presidential seal behind him when he talks? Because we are in the Stratford Act has been injected. We are in a soft martial law. FEMA is in control for real, for real.
Wow.
People don't even know that.
Wow. And wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so,
and also when we have these movements, real quick, I'll take 10 seconds. When we have these movements for Black people, such as the Black Lives Matter or whatever,
and that's some BS. George Soros funds that.
Right.
That's not even Black.
Right. If they're not gonna demand a seat at the table with the president or be a bit more legitimate, because you always hear these funky things and you don't know if they're true or not because.
Well, when was the last time you saw Black Lives Matter feed any Black families or pay any bills?
To my point, you know what I mean? To my point exactly. So. It's really tough. It's really tough to say what positive they would do. You know what I mean?
Because they have not done it.
Right.
And so, where can they find you if they want to find more information? I'm going to look you up and want to ask you some questions. I'm
looking up at King of Hair on Instagram or Facebook, Anthony Cherry. And remember, the best is yet to come. And even though the weapon may form, it shall not and it will not prosper, because greater he that is in me than he that is in the world.
To find me, I'm the novelist, author, poet, Lamont Anthony Wright, aka Graffiti Bleu. You can find me at gbleu.com, GBLEU.com. All of my social media, everything is one convenient place. My YouTube, Instagram, all of that is right there, gbleu.com. Holla at your boy.